We'll continue with questions for quarterback Trey Lance. A reminder, we will have a recording available later this afternoon from today's meeting. We'd ask that you limit it to one question, please, so we can get through as many as we have in the time available. Ross Uglum, you're up.
Hey Trey, good to see you. Thanks for the time. Just kind of your emotions, what you feel watching this team that you would have been a part of if not for COVID every Saturday.
Yeah, it's super hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's obviously it was a hard decision. Hopefully, I ever have to make deciding to leave school and missing out. Obviously, everyone missed out on something, but with COVID, missing out on what I felt like getting cheated out of a whole year with those guys, my teammates who I was so close with. It's hard to sit on the couch and watch them every Saturday. Thankfully, this Saturday I'll be able to be there with them. Stay out of the way as much as I possibly can, but as you can imagine, it's hard to watch and know that this is the same team. It's not like it's a whole nother year. I know every single guy on this roster.
Thank you, Trey. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Pranav?
Trey, the New York Jets, correct? Have you met with them?
I'm not going to speak on any teams I've met with specifically, but I have had a ton of Zoom meetings recently and I guess over the last few months, and will continue to with teams.
Thanks, Trey.
Absolutely.
Craig Haley?
Thank you for the time, Trey. In your training, what part of your technique did you feel you wanted to work on the most, and how have you done that, since the long fall game?
The biggest thing for me has just been cleaning up everything, honestly. Just being as clean as polished as possible and as efficient with my movements as possible. Keeping my feet in the ground, not being so up and down, little things like that. And I think Quincy Avery and Sean McAvoy, my QB coaches over the last 6 months, I think having this time has been a huge benefit to me personally, just being able to kind of be selfish with my time and work on the things that I need to work on.
Thank you, Trey.
Absolutely.
Nick Cousin?
Hey Trey, good to see you. In your training, where did you improve the most that really stood out to you?
I think, like I said, just being as clean as possible with my movements, whether it's inside or outside the pocket, my throwing motion, just being as, like I said, as clean and structurally as clean and polished as I possibly can be. And I think those last 6 months have been huge for me in those ways.
Jacob Infante?
Hey Trey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. So North Dakota State saw you make a fair share of full field reads, but you also had a decent amount of just quick decisions, but kind of translating into a West Coast style, if need be, at the NFL level. Do you think that that's a system where you could thrive in terms of making those quick decisions and getting the ball out pretty quickly?
Yeah, honestly, I think whatever situation I'm put into, I'm going to be, get as prepared as possible to be ready to go whenever the coaches see fit. But I'm just looking for opportunity anywhere at this point. Obviously, I don't pick where I go, but I'd be super grateful to go anywhere.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
David Zerazi?
Hey Trey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Whatever team you end up with, talking about the fans, what do the fans get with Trey Lance?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Whatever team you end up with, talking about the fans, what do the fans get with Trey Lance?
They get a great human being and a guy that loves football first and foremost. I don't believe that football is why I'm on earth, but it is what I love to do, and that's going to be my platform for everything else. And that's what I'm going to spend my time doing.
John McMullen?
Thank you for your time.
Hey Trey, you mentioned Quincy Avery. I know you were working out with him, fundamentals down there. He's been working with Jalen Hurts as well, Deshaun Watson. Did you get to sort of work out with them as well and kind of pick their brains on what it's like to be at that next level?
Yeah, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with Jalen. Haven't been around Jalen, but Deshaun and like Josh Dobbs and a few other guys, like having that opportunity has been really really cool, as you can imagine. Guys that are doing exactly what I want to do, especially just being able to spend time with Deshaun and hang out has been really cool for me.
Paul Gant?
Trey, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. So, Trey, you played in 18 collegiate games. Do you feel like from day one that you're ready to be a starter in the National Football League?
I think, yeah, whatever organization I go to, they know what they're going to get with me, and I'm going to be absolutely as ready as I possibly can week one to go. And I'm a competitor first and foremost, so I'm going to compete for that spot regardless of where I'm at or what the situation is. So, yeah, I feel confident that regardless of where I go, I'll be ready to go. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Best of luck, team.
Appreciate it.
Amos Morrell.
Yeah, excuse me. I wanted to ask you in particular, have teams compared you to any other quarterbacks in the league? I know obviously with your athleticism, there's a lot of guys they could draw comparisons to, but have you gotten any feedback or anything like that from teams?
I guess teams, yeah, a lot of teams have said a lot of different guys. But as you know, everyone's an analyst on Twitter. Everyone can have their own comparison or whatever it is. So yeah, I think for me, I like to try to take a lot of pieces from a lot of guys, different guys' games. But at the end of the day, I'm Trey Lance. I'm not anybody else.
Jeff Kolpak.
Great, John. Question, how did it go today?
It was awesome. It was a ton of fun. As you can imagine, as you can see, it was a ton of fun to be around those guys and have this opportunity with everyone here and be able to watch Rado and Keys compete as well. Just being back in the Fargo Dome feels great. Super looking forward to obviously seeing the guys play tomorrow. But I thought we had an awesome day, clean day. Obviously missed a few, but I thought overall it went really well.
What was it like having Darius to throw to again?
It was awesome. As you can imagine, it's always good to have another Bison.
Kenyon Atchison.
Hey Trey, on the NFL Network broadcast, they really specified and went in depth with your footwork. Was that something that, excuse me, you and Coach A were cognizant on working on while you were getting ready for your pro day?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, that was the biggest thing for me, was just being as clean, as polished as possible going into this. And for the last 6 months, having this opportunity to kind of get right in those little things, and like I said, be clean, polished, and efficient in all my movements has been definitely a big emphasis for me.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Alexis, go ahead.
Hello, Trey. Thank you for taking the time. Coach Hedberg yesterday called you football junkie in terms of your passion and the time you take studying. Can you just speak to how that was born with your father and how you fostered and nurtured that over the course of your career?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it started with my parents, going all the way back to growing up. My parents were always super realistic with me. They weren't super strict, but at the same time, my actions and my words had to match up. So I couldn't say I wanted to, have an opportunity to play professional football or even Division I football if I was just doing the same thing everyone else was doing. So for me, I think that's where it started, and I do love football. So it really hasn't been a hard thing for me to kind of spend time and be that football junkie or spend as much time doing it as I possibly can.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Doug Farrar.
Hey Trey, you mentioned that comparisons don't really register with you, which was understandable. Two I wanted to bring up though. Coach Hedberg compared you to Deshaun yesterday. Wanted to know how you felt about that. And Daniel Jeremiah compared you to Steve McNair, which I thought was kind of spot on. How familiar are you with McNair, and if so, does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, I think both of those are obviously great people to be compared to. At the end of the day, obviously they both done what I want to do in the National Football League, and obviously Deshaun's still doing what I want to do. So just the type of people they were, especially Deshaun, how he carries himself off the field, is definitely another person, like I said, a mentor for me. But I have plenty of those, thankfully, just guys that are playing in the league right now that are willing to answer questions and talk to me.
Chrissy Freud.
Trey, your high school coach called you a quarterback with a linebacker mentality when I spoke to him. To what extent do you see that within yourself from a mental and on the field standpoint? And do you see yourself maybe having to change that a little bit when you reach the NFL level, just in regards to the chances for injury?
Yeah, I think he was probably talking about the physicality, I guess, that I play the game with. I think for me, I pick and choose my battles, and even watching my college tape, all 17 games, you don't see me really take too many shots or pick a battle that I don't win. So I think that's one thing that I definitely do. I think one of my strengths is I pick and choose my battles well, when to get down and when not to. But absolutely, I understand that guys are bigger, faster, stronger at the next level. So I'll definitely continue to obviously pick and choose my battles with that.
Dom Izzo.
Trey, I'm just curious, did you feel inherent pressure on today? I know today's a big day. How did you handle it? Was there nerves? Can you describe that?
I think I took it the same way I go into a game. I do everything I possibly can to prepare as best as I possibly can, so I don't really have anything to worry about at that point. It's just attitude and effort, which is the two things that you can control, without a doubt. So I was looking forward to it. 6 months has been a long time without throwing in the Fargo Dome. So honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of nerves for me. It was more about just excited to kind of go out and show what I got.
What do you make of the spectacle that was here today about that? The amount of teams that were here, live television, can you describe that?
It was pretty cool for me. Obviously, that's not my job to worry about all that. It's just my job to get out and do my job and rip it. But I felt really good. I felt like we had a good day, and it was, like I said, super exciting to be back in the Fargo Dome.
Thanks, bud.
Mike K.
Hey Trey, one pick on your college resume, 0 losses, starter. It's pretty impressive. But in the NFL, you're going to deal with adversity. I'm just curious, how do you handle adversity in the huddle? A drop pass, a pass breakup, etc.
Yeah, I'm a very confident guy, humble but confident. So I think just for me, it's about turning the page. Like whether it was a pick in practice in a game, regardless of what it was, I'm pretty quick to turn the page on the situation. And obviously, I think positive energy is contagious and it's a good thing. So I'm very confident with the guys. Obviously, I was confident at North Dakota State with the guys on my team and whatever organization I'm with next. I'm gonna be confident with those guys as well.
Jonathan Alexander, please.
Hey, Trey, hope you're doing well. I think one of the questions that I guess a few critics have is the fact that you only played one full season. How would you quell those criticisms? Why do you think that you are ready at this next level?
The biggest thing for me is just controlling what I can control and not worrying about what I can't. So I played every game I possibly could in college. Like I said earlier, it would have been great to obviously was anticipating to win on the national championship in January and then have to make the decision then. But it didn't work out that way. Everyone got cheated out of something with COVID. So for me, my mindset towards it is just controlling what I can control and not worrying about everything else.
Jennifer Lee.
Hey Trey, Kyle Shanahan's been known to break down one play for about 45 minutes, so his attention to detail is very intense. Would you say that's something that would interest you, and what are your qualities on the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I definitely detail my work. I think my preparation is something that separates me and my football IQ. Super excited, obviously, to have this opportunity to be around teams and get in front of teams. But like I said, I'm just looking for an opportunity at this point. They pick where I'm at, not me. So just looking forward to it. This today was super exciting. And, yeah, attention to detail at the line of scrimmage is definitely something where I feel like it's one of my strengths.
Michael Kinder.
Hey Trey, Mike Kenner from Overtime Fantasy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So you've been working so hard to prepare for this pro day for a long time now. What does the next month look like for you as you prepare for the NFL draft?
Stay in shape, just continue. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life right now, so there's no reason for me to kind of get out of that shape, honestly. Just continue to stay healthy, obviously, and keep getting work in, and a whole lot of Zoom meetings, as many as I can possibly do with teams, get in front of as many people as I possibly can, and just get to know whoever is going to be my future coach.
All right, thank you, Trey. Good luck.
Thank you.
Orlando.
Oh, yes, dear Orlando Lidbetter, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Trey, are you familiar with the Falcons' weapons, and would you be opposed to, sitting behind a veteran for a year or so, like Patrick Mahomes did in Kansas City?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think my mindset towards it is I'm going to come in to compete, regardless of where I'm at, and I don't think teams want me to come in any other way. That's my mindset towards it. I'm a competitor first and foremost. So that's my mindset towards it. Just excited, like I said, to get to, regardless of anywhere, just have an opportunity to play in the National Football League. But yeah, I'm going to be as ready as I possibly can to go whenever my coaching staff needs me to go.
Are you familiar with their weapons?
Yes, sir.
Could you expound on that?
No, I don't. I'm not going to do that. Appreciate you, though.
Thank you.
Andrew Freeman, go ahead.
Hey Trey, appreciate your time today. I just want to get your thoughts from somebody that has got a lot of attention, I think, for, of course, for your arm count, which is one of the best in his class this year. But I think one of the things that has gone under the radar, I think, with you translates to the NFL is your running ability coming from so
that's something that a lot of NFL teams will be able to make use of in their offense as maybe on design runs and maybe getting out on bootlegs and using your athleticism on some of those off-platform throws.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think, like you said, I think that's one of my strengths is being able to move the pocket, get out of the pocket and scramble and make plays with my legs. I think today I kind of wanted to show that I can throw the ball a little bit more from the pocket and rhythm stuff and things like that, which I thought I did. But yeah, absolutely. I think obviously that's one of my strengths. What I feel is one of my strengths. So I would hope that wherever I go, that would be some part of my game, and I mean it will at some point.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
We have about 5 minutes left with Trey Lance, and we'll get to as many of these questions as we can get to. Tyler Jeffries, you're up.
Hey, Trey Lance. Tyler Jeffries from Overtime Fantasy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, your dad is a very defensive-minded person. And with you growing up around him, I'm sure he's taught you a lot about the defensive side. So would you say one of your biggest traits is being able to dissect the defense going into the pros?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just football IQ overall and my preparation is what goes into it. I think those two things are definitely strengths of mine and what I spent a lot of time focusing on, as well as not only my dad, but just my coaching staff here at North Dakota State and the coaches and all the people I've worked with over the last 6 months after being done with school.
Hey, best of luck to you guys at Overtime Fantasy. We can't wait to see where you go next.
Thank you so much.
Zach Cox.
Hey, Trey. Just curious, who were your favorite quarterbacks to watch growing up?
I was a Florida Gators fan growing up, actually, so Tim Tebow was like my guy, probably growing up in middle school, early high school.
What did you like about his game?
Like I said, I was a Florida Gators fan, and at that time, that was kind of all that mattered. It could have been anyone at that point. But obviously, the physicality he brings to the game and his passion for the game were two things that I thought were two of his strengths, and it's super exciting.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Steve from the Associated Press.
Pretty much all the FCS prospects who are the top draft prospects decided to opt out this spring season. That's what went into your decision. How difficult would it have been to prepare for the draft while also kind of playing the season right now?
Yeah, for me, that wasn't really an option. Just from the standpoint of, obviously, I play quarterback, and I would have had to leave my team in the middle of the season. You know, here at North Dakota State, we play for national championships. That's the expectation every single year. So for me, that if I was going to stay in school and play, I would have stayed and played the spring and the fall as well.
Ross Uglum.
Trey, you watch a ton of film, I'm sure, around the program. I mean, how much better is this NFL for you, for your game, than even 10 or 15 years ago with some of the concepts that are in place?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Like you said, I mean, you see Lamar Jackson's and not only Lamar Jackson, but the countless quarterbacks who can move across the league. I think, like you guys have mentioned, that's one of my strengths for sure. So looking forward to having that opportunity and being able to show a little bit of what I got and what I can do.
Thank you, Trey.
Eric Peterson.
Trey, just describe the difficulty of missing, not having a full season, then no NFL Combine. What were the challenges of going through the draft process, and were there any advantages of the way it played out with missing some of the traditional draft buildup?
I think the biggest challenges is just, honestly, the Combine was canceled. So not having that opportunity, that would have been obviously something you dream of from as long as I can remember. My dad went to the Combine. So that was something I was really looking forward to, as well as obviously not being able to meet teams face-to-face. Zoom meetings they're good, be able to see people, but not to be able to shake hands and get in the same room and get up on the board with them, a couple feet away from you would have been really cool, and I think would have been an awesome experience. But I think everything's been going super well. I've been super blessed to have awesome people in my corner. So everything's been super smooth these last 6 months for me.
Doug Farrar.
Hey, Trey, can you walk me through, sorry to ask this, your one lone interception, kind of what happened in that process, and then you had a deep out in that same game with about 3 minutes left to hold the lead. Can you walk me through that play as well, kind of what that was doing?
Yeah, the pick was play action. I was just late. It was a slap seam with a tight end wheel coming behind it, and I was just late on it. That's about all that happened. Saw the safety, just tried to pull the trigger 1-2 seconds too late. And the deep out, I think it was to Braylon Henderson. Yeah, it was we call it a circus route, free access, got one-on-one man coverage. I'm betting on my guy to win every single time, so took it, and obviously he made a great catch on it as well.
Justin Felder, please.
Hey Trey, you talked to Sports Illustrated about how you and Quincy designed your script today, incorporating some pro concepts, and specifically mentioned Kyle Shanahan and Arthur Smith's offenses. One, what were you trying to show there by incorporating those? And two, what was it about those offenses that got them included?
Yeah, that was a lot of Quincy and my agent and the guys in my corner doing that and helping me out with those throws. I made most of my script, but they added a good amount of stuff and tweaked a little bit of stuff. But I think just there were some throws, whether it's certain play action throws, tight end leak, stuff like that, that I think really translated honestly from what we did at North Dakota State. It was pretty much all throws that I had already made on a pretty consistent basis at North Dakota State, which helped me out for sure. But yeah, it was obviously wanted to show what I can do and how it would fit into not only those offenses, but any offense across the league.
Beth Hool.
Hey Trey, heard you took the Wonderlic. Can you just tell us what that experience was like when you took it and what you expected to reality of that test?
Oh yeah, it was pretty much what I expected. 12 minutes, 50 questions. You know, I had taken a few practice tests before it, and the last few months leading up to it, I took it last night, yesterday afternoon. I thought it went well. Don't know my score yet, but yeah, I guess confident in how I did and did my best on it. That's about all I can do.
Zach Pearson.
Hey Trey, with no season this past fall, did you have a little more time to maybe watch other college quarterbacks? Were there any that stood out to you, or anything about their games?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely had obviously Saturdays, not playing on Saturdays, and not having North Dakota State playing on Saturdays. Got to watch a ton of college football, which I wasn't really used to since probably high school. But yeah, I obviously watched the guys that I'm real close with, and obviously it was a ton of fun to be able to watch those guys, cheer them on, and see how they're doing throughout the season.
We'll take our final question this afternoon from Jonathan Alexander. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Trey, a lot of people speak about how a lot of the bigger schools recruit you to play other positions. I'm curious, was that at all a source of motivation, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a chip on my shoulder. People tell me, regardless if someone tells you you're not good enough at something, the competitor in me is going to want me to do it even better than they think I can. But yeah, it was pretty quick conversations for those schools that did. I felt like I was a quarterback. I believed in myself. I had enough people that believed in me, that mattered to me, my family really. So at that point, it was kind of a thank you but no thank you situation. But super thankful to those schools for giving me that opportunity and being honest with me throughout the whole recruiting process about that situation. But yeah, it was like I said, it was a pretty quick conversation, and I believed in myself at that point.
Trey, thank you so much for your time today, and good luck this spring.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.